Hello everyone, this is SL Kadam. I welcome all of you in my class. We started discussing the text On to the Summit. We reached the top by Tenzing Norgay. As you know, this is an article which was published in Times of India and it is prescribed for our discussion so that the students should get motivated, should get inspiration from the adventurous story of Tenzing Norgay and his friend Edmund Hillary. How they managed to scale Mount Everest, what problems they faced after achieving to the success, how sometimes you may get involved in controversy and how to overcome the controversy. These things are being discussed. I have told you it is a metaphorical text actually. It means Mount Everest or scaling to Mount Everest has been used as a metaphor so that we should understand that everyone has to scale one or the other Mount Everest in one's life. And while climbing Mount Everest of one's life, how one should behave, what type of approach one should have towards the issues, towards the difficulties and problems that is being discussed in this text. And writer wants to convey all of us that beginning is always the hardest, always the most difficult thing. And initially you should be very calm and composite and confident, and you should move ahead with lot of attention and lot of composure, so that you would reach the target, your design goal comfortably, and you would proceed in life. So we discussed how Edmund Hillary got the permission of Colonel Hunt to carry the fourth flag, that was Indian flag, and how they were heading or marching nearer to Mount Everest, that was discussed. And how the rope was being used to hold each other properly, that was the support for both of them. And sometimes they would loosen the rope, sometimes they would tighten the rope so that they would have proper grip while scaling the Everest. And finally they reached, or they were about to reach. And writer has mentioned here he was just 20 feet behind Edmund Hillary, and that was not an issue for both of them. And they were not concerned about who would reach the top first. They wanted to reach there together. That was their combined motto. So with a team spirit, with dedication, they managed to scale Mount Everest. And it means on page number 18 we are told by the writer how they managed to settle or to diffuse that controversy. The rumors spread across media that somebody would say Edmund Hillary reached the top first, or after some time Tenzing reached the top of the mountain. So in this way people started talking. I told you that such things happen, and when you get successful, these things happen. So it means controversies are there always, and people like to create controversies. So you should be able to understand, you should be able to know how to overcome, how to manage these things. So they made an agreement. There is one word here, pact, pact means agreement. And in the presence of the Prime Minister of Nepal, they made that agreement in the office of the Prime Minister of Nepal. They signed over that agreement. And Edmund would always carry Hillary's copy, and Hillary might carry it means Tenzing's copy. Sorry, here I carry, there is one sentence, I have a copy of Hillary's statement which I carry in my pocket. It reads what is in the agreement, what is in the pact that is given here. It reads means what is stated in that agreement. Kathmandu, June 22, 1953. So what they mention, on May 29th, Tenzing Sherpa and I left our high camp on Mount Everest for our attempt on the summit. As we climbed upwards to the south summit, first one and then the other would take a turn at leading. We crossed over the south summit and moved along the summit ridge. There is one word here, ridge, RIDGE. Ridge means a long, narrow piece of raised land. Ridge. We reached the summit almost together. This is very interesting or striking sentence. We reached the summit almost together. We embraced each other, overjoyed at our success. Embrace means, to hold someone or to embrace someone. That means to hug someone here. We embraced each other, overjoyed at our success. Then I took photograph of Tenzing holding aloft the flags of Great Britain. Aloft means very high, or just like hoisting. Nepal, the United Nations, and India, signed by Hillary. So that was the statement made by both of them, signed by both of them. As writer has mentioned, whenever anyone would ask him about the controversy regarding who reached the top first, he would show that person the statement made in the agreement. See, with the signature of Hillary, he would show, and in this way he would give befitting reply to the critics or to such people who spread rumors and gossips anywhere. Okay, there is another paper like this in English signed by me. Thus, we will not take part in any controversy. As the statement says, Hillary and I embraced when we reached the top. We did as well as our bulky equipment would let us. Bulky equipment, equipment means the devices, the things which they carried to go there. That is called as equipment, and that is mentioned here bulky. Bulky means large, huge. So due to bulky equipment, they would not be able to embrace each other naturally or properly. Somehow they managed to celebrate the success. And I remember saying to him, we have done it, but we couldn't hear. Very loudly they told each other, we have done it, but due to the air pressure or due to the gusty wind, very heavy wind pressure, they could not hear each other's word. We had our oxygen mask on. That might be another reason. We had, it means they were wearing that oxygen mask, and due to that the words would not be heard by each other. Okay, but they failed what they wanted to convey at that time. It is possible, I have told you, they worked as a team, and I mentioned in the last session what is team. It is many individuals with one soul working for one goal. That is called as team. So here the two individuals with one soul working for one goal, and that was Mount Everest. So they were completely integrated. They knew each other completely. They knew each other's habits, each other's needs, each other's feelings, each other's wants, and therefore what they mentioned at that time was failed by both of them. First thought now, after reaching to Mount Everest, what Tenzing felt there exactly. My first thought on reaching the top was a sense of gratitude to God. This is very important word, gratitude. Gratitude means what? Thankfulness, expressing expressing thanks. That is called as gratitude, expressing gratefulness to God. Everybody believes in God. Everyone is a theist, I would say. A few people may be atheist, a few people may not believe in God, but people who believe in God always give credit to their success to God, and they feel that due to his wish, due to his direction, someone has done something, someone has reached something. So it's natural. Some people may not believe or may not be agree with this statement, but this is the general perception or general feeling of the people. So as usual, he did that. As soon as he reached there, he expressed his gratitude, he expressed his thankfulness to God. And he knew that whatever he was able to do on that day, it was because of the blessings of his God. And therefore he expressed his solidarity, his thankfulness to God. That after having failed 6 times, this is very important. It means writer has admitted here, confessed here, before reaching finally and successfully to Mount Everest, he tried 6 times. Okay, it means 6 times he failed, and at seventh attempt he got success. This is really interesting. It means there is one sentence here, you might have heard that failure means success. When failure means success, when you learn from it, remember, it means every failure teaches you a lot. You should learn, understand from the mistakes you committed while experiencing failure, and you should resolve that you would not repeat the same mistake next time. If you keep repeating the same mistake which was responsible for making you to fail, you would never get success. So that is important. So when Tenzing Norgay failed 6 times, definitely he might have self-examined him. He might have done his assessment. It means he might have rectified the mistakes, and every time he might have avoided to repeat the same mistake, and in this way finally he got success. This is very important to learn from failure. So that here he wants to convey, after failing 6 times, God has awarded him that success. Remember, success demands hard work with patience. Success demands patience too. It means your patience is tested when you want to achieve success in life. How much patient and tolerant you are, that is always tested. The person who is patient in every situation, patient means tolerant in every situation, who is not disappointed by setbacks and failures, who learns from setbacks and failures, who is ready to bounce back, to such person, success is gifted, success is rewarded. I would say God also, sometimes checks you, sometimes tests you. He checks you that how desperately you want to have that, how long would you struggle for that, how much you are ready to sacrifice for that, how much precious that thing for you in your life. That God wants to know. After testing you properly, he may award you success. So success doesn't come easily, remember. That the writer wants to convey, that after having failed 6 times, he got success. He had blessed me with fulfillment of the desire I had held so long. So that dream was cherished by him for a long time. He might have been following that dream, or he might have been chasing that goal for a long time, and he got disappointed many times, but he did not complain, or he did not get disappointed or frustrated. Every time he failed, he decided to again come back, decided to bounce back by learning from the earlier failure or earlier mistake. That's the spirit one has to carry, one has to have to achieve success in life. That the writer wants to convey. No failure can stop you from achieving any grand in life. Remember, failures are the stepping stones in success. Okay, I would say the more you fail, the more you would succeed. It doesn't mean that you should like to fail or you should try to fail every time, but remember, the more you struggle, the more you would succeed. The more is your struggle, the magnitude of your success would be larger. So that is important. You check any example from the history, people who struggled a lot, people who failed many times, became legends, at the end of the day became hugely successful. Okay, everybody struggled, everybody failed. There is no one in the world who has got success in first attempt. Okay, everyone has to suffer, everyone has to struggle, everyone has to fail, and failure is an integral part of success. Okay, so that is very essential thing. So here he had blessed me with fulfillment of this desire. Desire means, the wish which he cherished for a long time in his heart. Finally it got fulfilled. He hit the target and he was too much happy by being there. I placed on the summit the offerings of God. It may be superstition for some of you. Indian people are superstitious, or many people in the world are superstitious. People feel by offering some things, by doing things in front of God, they would be more blessed, or they would be more, heard by God. It may not happen, but these are the, perceptions of the people, or superstitions of the people, or I would say blind beliefs of the people. And we are no one to criticize these things. We have to just accept these things, because you can't put question mark on someone's belief. It's not proper, so in the same way, he has mentioned the offerings to God. There was no God, literally no presence of God at the top of the Mount Everest. But God is something or someone who is invisible, and anywhere you can connect yourself with that invisible power by offering prayer. It is not necessary to go to any religious place to meet God or to offer prayer to God. Anywhere you can connect yourself, because God lives in you, God is in you, you are the child of God, and God is around us. God is omnipresent. God is present everywhere. So considering that, he offered the prayer, he offered the things at the top of the mountain that I had carried with me. It means the things he deliberately, intentionally carried with him, because he decided that he would offer those things after reaching the top. That was his plan. This is an accord. Accord means ACCORD. Accord means, I told you accord in the last class. Accord means agreement. This is, in accord, not an accord. This is in accord with my religion. It means, he had that belief, too much belief, or tremendous belief over his religion. Both my wife and I are Buddhists. That is a religion. I could not kneel because of my clothes and equipment. He was supposed to kneel, but he could not due to the equipment, due to his clothes. He wanted to bow down. He wanted to, kneel down. But why he wanted to kneel down? Because he wanted to offer prayer. He wanted to express his gratitude by coming in that posture. But he could not do that due to equipment. But I offered a silent prayer in my heart, and that is important. As I have told you, if you decide to get connected with God, it is possible at any moment, anywhere. If you call him with all feelings, with all your heart, or wholeheartedly, I would say, definitely you would feel him, you would meet him. That exactly he did. The offerings were biscuits. That is interesting. What he exactly offered, he did not offer their coconut, or garlands or flowers, or anything else. He offered biscuits, candy. Actually, the food items which he carried with him, he offered, and a little blue pencil. Blue pencil, isn't it interesting? Blue pencil. Why he offered pencil? What is the logic behind that? My youngest daughter, Nima, had given me the pencil before I left home. That small girl, his daughter, very innocently, she told her father, after reaching to Mount Everest, put my pencil there, gift my pencil to Mount Everest. Because in mountaineer's life, Mount Everest might be godlike thing, or that might be the extreme thing in one's life. So with the superstition, he did that. She asked me to put it on the top of the mountain as her offering. you know, as I have told you, people feel that by offering something they can get blessed by God. So whatever is possible, whatever is affordable to anyone, people do that, people offer that, and it's natural. So he did that. He fulfilled the wish of his daughter by offering her blue pencil at the top of the Mount Everest. It was an ordinary blue pencil, not even a long one, but it was one of her prized possessions. Or prized possessions, see, one of her prized possessions. I told you, after one of, you have to use always plural form of noun, possessions. Okay, it means that little girl, his daughter, might have won that pencil as a prize in any competition in the school, and that prize she told her father to offer for her, or in front of God, representing her. That it means, as I put it down, I pointed it out to Hillary. He gave me a big smile. You know, while being with him, Tenzing might have shared many, things with his friend, many things of his family members, his day-to-day talk, or his general life. They were good friends. So Edmund knew the symbolical meaning of that pencil. So therefore he displayed smile when he saw Tenzing putting the pencil of his daughter at the top of the mountain, showing that he understood. So that is the perfect understanding, mutual, understanding. The bond between them was very strong, and due to that strong bond, they hit the target successfully. They completed the scaling successfully. Okay, that is very interesting, important thing. Then I got out the flags which I had on piece of string about 4 feet long. String means one I would say one iron stick that is called a string, on piece of string about 4 feet long, or you would say a rod. And by putting the flags over respective rods, iron rod, he decided to hoist the flags. I fastened one end to my ice axe, here X actually, and Hillary took pictures as I held it up. It means initially he got it clicked, or got that flag clicked, every flag which he was hoisting, he got that picture clicked, photographed with the help of his friend, and then he fixed those flags over there by using his ice X. He got the photos. As I had to bring my ice X down with me, I buried one end of the string in the ice on the top. Buried means put down or below any surface. Here ice surface, he put that string, that rod there, and in this way he left the flags to hoist their colorful flags of respective countries, especially Indian flag he carried there, and that he did with the Indian flag too. And in this way, buried one end of the string in the ice on the top, and the other in snow on the slope down below. When we left, they were lying flat against the summit. Lying flat against the summit means as long as they were there, they were able to watch the hoisting of the flag, and the colors they enjoyed. It means very proudly they observed or noticed these things. As they proceeded, as they started coming down, they were unable to see, unable to visualize the flags, and they were lying down flat. It means, who knows, the rods, the strings might have fallen down due to gusty wind, heavy blowing of the wind. So that happened. I was very thirsty. Okay, I took out a water tumbler for a drink. Here, tumbler means carrier, you can say bottle, but found the water in the metal container had frozen. It was minus temperature, so water was frozen. Okay, and sorry, frozen, so I could not quench my thirst. Very interesting word it is. Quench, Quench. Quench means, you see at right side the meaning is given, satisfy one's thirst. When you are thirsty, what you do, you drink water, and by drinking water you satisfy yourself. In this way, satisfying oneself while drinking, by drinking water, that is called as quenching oneself. Quenching means Quenching. Quenching means satisfying one's thirst. Okay, that is the meaning of quench. So I couldn't quench my thirst. I ate some biscuits and offered some to Hillary. So how he quenched his thirst? Actually, thirst cannot be quenched by any other thing. Water cannot be replaced by any other thing. But he did that by consuming, by eating biscuits and by offering to his friend Hillary. I was wearing a red scarf which my great friend Lambert, leader of the 1952 Swiss expedition, had given me last year. A 1952 Swiss expedition, while climbing one of the mountains of Switzerland. I told you what is the meaning of expedition. Expedition means adventurous journey. So when Tenzing was on Swiss expedition with his friend Lambert, at that time his friend Lambert gifted him a red scarf, and that red scarf Tenzing was wearing while scaling Mount Everest. So he deliberately mentioned that had given me last year. It was just a year ago on May 28th when we were standing at 28215 feet that he gave me the scarf. At that height, at that altitude, his friend gifted him that thing. So that was a memorable thing which he was carrying, and intentionally he wore that that scarf. Scarf means a piece of cloth. Generally, we wear in summertime to protect ourselves from heat wave. So that is called as a scarf here. Okay, and after that, what happened? I wore it all the way up the mountain from Darjeeling. Okay, it means right from the beginning of the expedition, Tenzing was having that, wearing that. Okay, he might have had some superstition with that red scarf, or with that red scarf he might have got success, so that might be a lucky thing for him. Some people carry such things, some lucky things. They feel that by having such things they may get success. So therefore he wore that scarf right from Darjeeling. As I stood at the top, I remembered him and felt that he was with me. Physically, his friend was not with him, but that red scarf made him to remember his friend, and he felt that as if he were with him. Who were with him? His friend Lambert was with him, according to him. I remembered him. I felt absolutely fit at the summit. Absolutely fit at the summit. So it means he was not exhausted, he was not fatigued, he was not tired. In fact, he forgot all the exertion, he forgot all the fatigue, because the success which he got, the final result made him to forget all the troubles, the hardships, the pains, and he was overjoyed with that achievement, with that success. Therefore it is mentioned that he felt absolutely fit at the summit. Summit means the top of the mountain. My mind was absolutely clear. I didn't feel tired. I felt exhilarated. This is interesting word, exhilarated. Exhilarated means very happy and excited. Okay, I didn't feel tired. I felt exhilarated. Exhilarated means very happy and excited. It was a very clear sensation. It was a very clear sensation. It means he was very much excited, overwhelmed, I would say, enthusiastic, zealous. Okay, when you achieve success, when somebody gets success, that happens. Success makes you feel rejoiced, feel delighted, and that makes you to forget all the pain, all the labors which you take to hit the target to achieve the success. So that was experienced by him. I didn't feel tired, I felt exhilarated. Exhilarated. Exhilarate means feeling excited, feeling enthusiastic, feeling zealous, feeling energetic. Okay, so that he failed, it was a very clear sensation. Sensation means the impulse he felt at that time. Below, all the hills and mountains looked like gods and goddesses. Okay, right from the top of the Mount Everest, how the down part appeared to be for them, that is mentioned. It might have appeared to be very tiny, very small, and according to Tenzing, all the hills and mountains look like gods and goddesses to me. Okay, so that is again interesting explanation. The plains below looked like so many broken pieces of the map. Plains means flat surface, okay, that appeared to be broken pieces of map. So what he visualized, what he saw, how was the scenery around, what exactly he experienced by being at the top of the Mount Everest, that is mentioned here. Two or three people could stand there on the roof of the world if you cut ice. Okay, two or three people could stand there on the roof of the world if you cut ice. It means at the top of the Mount Everest, how much space is there exactly at the apex point, at the zenith point. Only two or three people could stand there. It means that is the apex point where only two or three people can manage to stand somehow. That also by cutting the ice. Okay, it means it is a very steep point. Okay, pointed zenith, we would, I would say. Two or three people could stand there on the roof of the world if you cut ice 20 or 30 feet below of that top of the Mount Everest. There was enough flat square for two people to sleep. It means below 20 or 30 feet of that zenith point, apex point of Mount Everest, there is enough space to stand. Even two people can sleep better, sleep properly there. So that he wants to convey. You could pitch one tent there. Pitch means you can hold a tent there to rest and to stay overnight. The summit is flat on one side and steep on the other. There is snow on the northern side, rocks on the south and east on the south and east, and snowy rock on the west. It means it means in all directions how Mount Everest is or seems to be, appears to be, that is mentioned. Okay, there is snow on the northern side, rocks to the south and east, and snowy rock on the west. So interesting appearance of Mount Everest, one can say. We stayed on the top a little more than 15 minutes. Okay, they stayed there for a while, and that moment arrived in their life after doing lot of hard work. So they wanted to leave that moment, they wanted to experience that moment, and they managed to stay there for 15 minutes. They notice, they observe the surrounding very keenly, carefully. They wanted to take away with them the memories. They wanted to catch the things, they wanted to arrest the scene and scenery of the nature, and with that memorable experience, they decided to come down. Okay, so that it means we stayed on the top a little more than 15 minutes. We were lucky that there was no gale. What is the meaning of gale? Strong wind. It means as long as they were there, there was no any stormy situation at the top. Gale means here strong wind, unbearable wind, I would say. Gale means it's not Chris Gale. Spelling of gale here, Gale. Okay, and you know what is the spelling of Chris Gale? But I would say when Chris Gale plays, he plays like a stormy player. He creates storm on the ground with his bat, and therefore his parents might have, you know, had that title, Gale, Gayle. Here it is Gale, or it would have swept us off if they had experienced a gale at the top of the Mount Everest or nearby to Mount Everest. Definitely that could have been very disturbing to them, or that could have swept away them. They might have failed to go there. So they were fortunate not to experience gale or the stormy weather. My next thought was how to get down safely. See how the human mind, works, and once we achieve something, again we plan for the next thing, and for the next comfortable achievement we plan. So as soon as he reached there, after spending there for 15 minutes, he started to worry about safety return. Okay, it means how he would come down, that he was planning, he was thinking, he was worried about his safe return downwards. So how they managed to come down, what were their experiences while coming down, that is mentioned on the next page, actually on the last page, that we would discuss, read in the next session. I hope you are getting me, and you might be reading the text too. If you have any issue, any doubt, please ask me. Feel free to ask me. Don't have any hesitation. While learning, one should not bother, one should not hesitate. Remember, I am always there to help you. Please keep reading, and try to locate the meanings of difficult words, try to find out the meanings of difficult words, try to use those words in your own sentences. In this way you would you would be able to understand the usage of words in your own sentences. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.